Welcome, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters alike. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare American coins, focusing on one of the most sought-after and astonishingly valuable pennies in the hobby, the 1957 1-cent wheat penny, which has captivated collectors worldwide due to its unique errors, mistakes, and extraordinary rarity. Imagine holding in your hand a tiny copper coin that, despite its face value of only 1 cent, can fetch an astonishing $13 million in the right market, a coin whose story intertwines history, accidental minting quirks, and the passionate pursuit of collectors seeking perfection and anomalies. The 1957 penny is part of the classic Lincoln Wheat series, and what sets it apart is not just its age or copper composition but the very unusual errors and minting mistakes that occurred during its production, which have transformed an ordinary coin into a numismatic treasure. Understanding why this particular penny commands such an astronomical value requires a deep dive into the specifics of the errors that define it, the historical context of its minting at the Denver Mint, and the rare circumstances under which these mistakes were preserved and surfaced in today's collecting world. First, let's talk about the types of errors that make the 1957 penny so unique, starting with the well-documented double die obverse error, where the date and the lettering on the coin appear to have been stamped twice, creating a ghostly duplication effect that is incredibly difficult to replicate and highly sought after by collectors because it is a clear demonstration of the minting process going awry in a visually striking way. The double die error occurs when the hub, which transfers the coin's design onto the die, impresses the design multiple times in slightly different positions, and for the 1957 penny, this error manifests in the date 1957, and the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," giving the coin an unmistakable look that immediately signals to knowledgeable collectors that it is no ordinary circulation piece. But the double die is just one part of the story. Another key factor that drives the value of this penny is the off-center strike, which is an error resulting from the coin blank, or planchet, being misaligned during the striking process, causing the design to be pressed unevenly and sometimes cutting off portions of the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile itself. Coins with off-center strikes are prized because each one is unique, varying in degree and appearance, and a 1957 penny with a significant off-center strike can drastically increase in value compared to a standard circulation coin. In addition to these errors, die cracks and die breaks contribute to the allure of this penny. Over time, the steel dies used in the minting process can develop tiny fissures due to repeated pressure and heat, and when these cracked dies strike a planchet, raised lines or unexpected textures appear on the coin, adding another layer of rarity. Collectors often seek out these imperfections because they serve as a tangible record of the minting process, and because each crack or break pattern is inherently unrepeatable, making each affected coin a singular piece of history. Another factor that makes the 1957 penny so valuable is the quality of preservation. Surviving coins that exhibit these errors in high-grade condition, meaning minimal wear and pristine details, are exceedingly rare, because most coins with circulation wear or post-mint damage fail to command the astronomical prices seen for mint-condition error specimens. The combination of historical significance, rarity, unique minting errors, and exceptional preservation is what drives the $13 million valuation, turning a humble 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar asset that draws attention not only from collectors but from investors, museums, and institutions that recognize the cultural and financial significance of such a rare artifact. Beyond the technical errors, the story of the 1957 penny's rise in value is intertwined with the numismatic community's evolving understanding of what makes a coin valuable. Decades ago, a penny like this might have been overlooked or passed over as just another circulation piece. But as collectors and researchers began cataloging and verifying the presence of doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and other anomalies, the market began to recognize the extraordinary nature of these mistakes, elevating the coin to legendary status among American coinage. The human fascination with rarity and perfection plays a role too. Collectors are driven not just by the monetary value but by the thrill of discovery, the joy of owning a piece of history that almost no one else has, and the pride of preserving an object that represents both craftsmanship and serendipitous error. The 1957 penny, in all its copper glory, embodies the intersection of chance and history, showing how a tiny misalignment in a minting process can ripple across decades to create an object of immense desire and significance. There is also the factor of documented provenance, which can dramatically influence a coin's market value. 1950 pennies with verified histories, including records of original mint sets or early acquisitions by notable collectors, often command higher prices because buyers are assured of authenticity and rarity, reducing the risk of counterfeits in a market where such concerns are paramount. In the rarefied world of seven-figure coin sales, authenticity and verification are critical, and every detail, from the presence of specific die markers to the subtle nuances of minting errors, can mean the difference between a coin worth tens of thousands and one worth millions. Another fascinating aspect of this penny's appeal lies in its potential combinations of errors. Some 1950 pennies exhibit more than one mistake simultaneously, such as a double die combined with an off-center strike, or a pronounced die crack intersecting with a die clash, creating a truly unique specimen that is impossible to duplicate. These multiple error coins are particularly valuable because they are essentially one of a kind, representing a perfect storm of minting anomalies that were preserved and survived decades of circulation, often hidden in rolls of change, forgotten in drawers, or tucked away in private collections before being discovered by astute collectors. The rarity of encountering such a coin in today's market cannot be overstated, and it is this scarcity, combined with the historical intrigue and technical uniqueness, that fuels the mind-boggling $13 million price tag. Enthusiasts also appreciate the 1950 penny for what it represents in terms of American minting history. The Denver Mint, like its counterparts in Philadelphia and San Francisco, faced immense production demands in the post-war period, and quality control, while rigorous, was not immune to human and mechanical error. Each mistake preserved on a coin tells a story of a specific moment in time, of the pressures, imperfections, and processes that produced it, and the 1950 penny serves as a tangible link to that era, a witness to mid-20th century America that carries both historical and financial weight. Moreover, the allure of the 1950 penny is magnified by its accessibility and narrative. Anyone who has handled a penny can immediately relate to its size, texture, and familiar imagery, yet this particular coin transforms that everyday object into an extraordinary collector's item worth millions, bridging the gap between ordinary life and high-stakes collecting. This duality, common in appearance but rare in reality, creates a psychological fascination that drives demand, auctions, and intense bidding wars, as collectors and investors alike vie to own a piece of numismatic history that is both beautiful and financially transformative. Over the years, stories of accidental discoveries, such as coins found in rolls, inherited from relatives, or unearthed from forgotten collections, have added to the legend of the 1950 penny, creating a narrative that resonates deeply with audiences who enjoy tales of luck, discovery, and unexpected fortune. The potential for such finds keeps interest high, reminding the public that the next million-dollar coin could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eye to recognize its errors and mistakes, turning a routine exchange of pocket change into a thrilling adventure. Experts and grading authorities like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, play a critical role in validating the coin's value, providing detailed assessments of the errors, preservation, and authenticity, which in turn creates confidence in buyers and establishes market benchmarks for pricing. Without these third-party verifications, even a coin with pronounced errors might not reach its full market potential, as trust and credibility are essential in high-value numismatics. The 1950 penny's errors are not just technical curiosities. They also spark debate and study among collectors and historians, leading to articles, forums, and publications analyzing die varieties, strike anomalies, and the nuances of mint production during that period. Next, 1941 cent USA wheat penny, an absolutely stunning coin whose rarity, historical significance, and remarkable minting errors have combined to make it a veritable multi-million-dollar treasure, currently valued at an astounding $22 million in today's collector market. The 1940 wheat penny, unlike many of its contemporaries, is celebrated not merely for its age or its copper composition but for a series of unique mistakes, anomalies, and quirks that occurred during the minting process, turning what was originally intended to be a simple circulation coin into an object of incredible value and intense fascination among collectors worldwide. The appeal of this coin begins with its production history, minted during a time when the United States was emerging from the Great Depression and approaching the turbulent years of World War II. The Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco mints were operating at high capacity, striking millions of coins to meet everyday demands. Yet, within these vast production runs, small errors and irregularities could, and did, occur, and the 1940 wheat penny is a prime example of how such anomalies can transform a humble coin into a legendary collector's item. One of the primary reasons the 1940 penny commands such an extraordinary price is its classification as an error coin, and in this case, multiple types of errors can appear, each adding layers of uniqueness and value. Some specimens exhibit the famous double die obverse, where the date, 1940, and the inscriptions, Liberty, and In God We Trust, show a distinct doubling effect, a subtle yet unmistakable duplication that signals to experienced collectors that the coin is far from ordinary. This doubling occurs when the hub impresses the design onto the die more than once, slightly misaligned, resulting in a ghost image that is incredibly rare and visually captivating. In addition to doubled dies, certain 1940 pennies are known for off-center strikes, a minting mistake where the planchet is misaligned in the coining press, causing the design to appear partially off the edge, with sections of Lincoln's profile or the lettering missing or distorted. These off-center strikes are prized not only for their rarity but also because each is inherently unique. No two off-center coins are ever exactly alike, which means that collectors are essentially obtaining a one-of-a-kind piece of history with each example. Die cracks and die breaks further add to the allure of the 1940 wheat penny, as the steel dies used in the minting process were subject to tremendous pressure and wear, sometimes developing fissures that transferred onto the coins themselves. When these cracks appear, they create raised lines or unexpected textures on the coin, adding a distinct visual signature and a documented record of the coin's creation, which collectors find irresistible. Beyond these more technical minting anomalies, the 1940 wheat penny is also valued for rare planchet errors, including variations in metal composition, incomplete blanks, or laminations where the metal peels or splits. These planchet flaws, while seemingly minor, are extremely scarce in the surviving population, and when combined with other errors, they can produce coins that are truly unique and breathtakingly rare. Condition is another crucial factor in establishing the $22 million valuation of the 1940 penny. High-grade specimens with minimal wear, sharp details, and well-preserved surfaces are exceedingly uncommon because most pennies of that era circulated widely, suffering abrasions, corrosion, and damage over decades. When an era coin of this age is found in near-pristine condition, it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition opportunity for collectors, who are willing to pay astronomical sums to secure such a pristine example. The provenance of these pennies also plays a critical role in their value. Coins that can be traced through historical records, prior auction results, or inclusion in famous collections often command significantly higher prices because buyers have confidence in the authenticity, rarity, and historical significance of the coin. For the 1940 wheat penny, verified examples have appeared in notable auctions and private collections, generating media attention and solidifying the coin's legendary status within the numismatic community. The psychological and cultural factors behind this coin's appeal cannot be overstated. Collectors are not simply buying a piece of copper, they are investing in a story, a piece of American history, and a tangible connection to the past. The errors and anomalies on the 1940 penny represent a fascinating intersection of human craftsmanship and mechanical imperfection, and the fact that these mistakes have survived intact for over 80 years adds a mystique and narrative power that elevate the coin far beyond its monetary worth. Investors, historians, and hobbyists alike are captivated by the 1940 penny because it exemplifies the serendipity that drives high-end collecting. A misaligned strike or an unusual die crack, insignificant in their day, have now become defining characteristics that create extraordinary scarcity and, therefore, tremendous value. Multiple error specimens are especially prized in this regard. Some 1940 pennies may feature a double die in conjunction with an off-center strike, die cracks intersecting with unusual planchet imperfections, or even repunched mint marks that add another layer of complexity to the coin's provenance. Each combination of errors creates a coin that is unique and essentially irreplaceable, making the $22 million valuation not only justified but perhaps even conservative when considering the potential for discovery of additional pristine examples in private hands or forgotten hoards. Numismatic grading authorities such as PCGS and NGC are indispensable in establishing and maintaining the coin's market value. Through meticulous examination, these organizations authenticate the coin, verify the presence and type of errors, and assign a grade that reflects the preservation, detail, and overall quality of the specimen. This third-party verification is crucial for high-value transactions because it provides assurance to buyers and sellers that the coin is genuine and that its rarity is properly recognized. Without such certification, even a coin with prominent errors would struggle to achieve its full market potential. The historical context of the 1940 wheat penny enhances its appeal. Minted in an era when the nation was preparing for the challenges of World War II, this penny represents both the resilience and the industriousness of the United States during a pivotal moment in history. The wheat design on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and growth, coupled with Lincoln's enduring profile on the obverse, imbues the coin with iconic imagery and a sense of patriotic nostalgia that resonates deeply with collectors. Stories of accidental discoveries, where coins were found in old rolls, drawers, and collections long forgotten, further amplify the allure of the 1940 penny. These tales of serendipitous fortune fuel the imagination, suggesting that anyone could stumble upon a coin worth millions while handling everyday currency. This narrative of luck and discovery, combined with the tangible presence of minting errors and historical significance, creates a powerful emotional connection that drives intense demand and high prices. The 1940 wheat penny also exemplifies the broader principles of rarity and supply and demand in the numismatic market. While millions of pennies were minted in 1940, only a tiny fraction exhibit the errors, mistakes, and preservation quality necessary to achieve millionaire-level valuations. This scarcity, coupled with the high desirability among collectors, creates a market dynamic where the coin's value escalates rapidly at auctions and private sales. Its rarity is further compounded by the difficulty of finding multiple error specimens in excellent condition, which are exceedingly scarce even among seasoned collectors. Educational resources and scholarly research into the coin's varieties have increased public awareness and enthusiasm, with specialized publications, forums, and online communities analyzing die varieties, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and other anomalies. This growing body of knowledge not only validates the coin's extraordinary value but also ensures that collectors are informed and motivated to seek out the rarest examples. In addition, the 1940 penny demonstrates the intersection of art, history, and science in numismatics. The intricate design, the mechanical process of minting, and the unexpected anomalies create a multidimensional object that can be studied, admired, and invested in simultaneously. Collectors gain insight into the minting process, the challenges faced by mint workers, and the ways in which chance and human imperfection can produce objects of lasting cultural and financial significance. The excitement surrounding the 1940 wheat penny is also fueled by the ongoing potential for new discoveries. Even decades after its minting, previously unknown specimens continue to surface, sometimes in surprising places such as estates, safety deposit boxes, or family collections. Each discovery reinforces the coin's legendary status and reminds collectors that rare and valuable coins may still be hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eye to recognize their significance. Next, 1945 1-cent USA wheat penny, a coin whose incredible rarity, fascinating minting errors, and remarkable historical context have combined to make it an astonishingly valuable piece, currently estimated to fetch around $18 million in the high-end collector market. The 1945 wheat penny is a coin that transcends its humble face value, transforming from a simple copper disc intended for everyday commerce into a legendary numismatic treasure, revered by collectors, investors, and historians alike for the unique combination of historical significance, minting anomalies, and exceptional preservation that it embodies. The story of the 1945 penny begins in the immediate aftermath of World War II, a period marked by rapid industrial changes, economic transitions, and a nation adjusting to peacetime while still coping with wartime production practices. Minting operations in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were still heavily influenced by wartime resource management and the need to produce coinage in massive quantities, which created opportunities for both standard production coins and, accidentally, rare errors that would eventually command mind-blowing values in the collector market. One of the primary reasons the 1945 wheat penny is so highly valued is the presence of extraordinary minting errors that distinguish it from ordinary pennies. Among these, the double-die obverse error is perhaps the most notable, creating a ghost-like duplication of the date 1945, and inscriptions such as "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This error occurs when the hub impresses the coin design onto the die more than once in slightly different positions, producing a visible doubling effect that is instantly recognizable to knowledgeable collectors. Doubled dies are exceedingly rare and highly sought after, because they provide not only aesthetic uniqueness but also documented proof of the intricacies and occasional imperfections of the minting process. Another key factor contributing to the 1945 penny's remarkable valuation is the occurrence of off-center strikes. An off-center strike results from the coin blank, or planchet, being misaligned in the coining press, which causes the design to appear partially cut off, often affecting Lincoln's profile, the date, or the reverse wheat design. Each off-center coin is inherently unique due to slight variations in the degree and direction of misalignment, making these coins especially desirable for collectors who value one-of-a-kind specimens that cannot be duplicated. Die cracks and die breaks also play an important role in elevating the 1945 penny's rarity and value. During this era, steel dies used to strike coins were subject to tremendous pressure and heat, which could lead to fissures and breaks. When these damaged dies strike a coin, raised lines, unexpected textures, or even missing elements appear, creating a coin that serves as both a functional currency and a historical record of minting imperfections. The presence of die cracks enhances the uniqueness and collectability of the 1945 penny, since each crack pattern is entirely individual and impossible to reproduce. The 1945 penny is further distinguished by rare planchet errors. These include anomalies in metal composition, incomplete blanks, laminations, and even clipping errors where the metal is accidentally removed from the edge during preparation. Such planchet errors are exceptionally rare, and when combined with other anomalies such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, they produce coins of extraordinary rarity and visual appeal. High-grade preservation is another major driver of the 1945 penny's multi-million-dollar valuation. Because these pennies circulated widely after the war, surviving specimens in pristine condition are extraordinarily scarce. Coins that exhibit well-preserved details, minimal wear, and sharp features are the most sought after, as they provide the clearest and most striking examples of the unique minting errors that define their value. The provenance of these pennies also significantly impacts their market price. 1945 pennies with well-documented histories, previous ownership by notable collectors, or inclusion in prestigious auction lots are more desirable, as buyers can be assured of their authenticity and verified rarity. This provenance creates confidence in the market, enabling collectors to pay premium prices for verified specimens. Beyond the technical aspects, the 1945 penny captivates collectors and the public alike due to its historical context. Minted just as the world was emerging from the turmoil of World War II, the coin serves as a tangible artifact from a pivotal period in American history. Its wheat design on the reverse symbolizes prosperity, growth, and hope for the future, while Lincoln's portrait on the obverse continues to inspire recognition and reverence for a foundational figure in American history. The combination of historical significance and extraordinary rarity gives the coin both emotional and financial weight. Collectors are particularly drawn to multiple era 1945 pennies, where more than one anomaly occurs simultaneously. For instance, a penny may exhibit both a doubled die and an off-center strike, or a die crack intersecting with a planchet lamination. Such coins are one of a kind, as each combination of errors is inherently unique, making them the most coveted among high-end collectors and justifying staggering valuations. The role of professional grading services, such as PCGS and NGC, cannot be overstated. These organizations authenticate coins, evaluate the presence and type of errors, and assign a grade reflecting the coin's preservation and quality. Third-party certification provides confidence in high-value transactions, ensuring buyers and sellers can trade with assurance that the coin is genuine and rare. Without such verification, even a prominent error coin might not reach its full market potential. The 1945 penny also demonstrates the interplay between chance, craftsmanship, and human oversight. Mint workers, operating under post-war production pressures, could not perfectly control every coin produced. Slight misalignments, die wear, and hubbing irregularities all contributed to the creation of these unique error coins. The surviving specimens allow collectors to experience a tangible connection to this process, appreciating both the artistry and the serendipity that have turned ordinary pennies into extraordinary treasures. Stories of accidental discoveries further amplify the allure of the 1945 penny. Coins have been found in old rolls, hidden in drawers, or passed down through generations, sometimes surfacing decades later to reveal their true rarity. These narratives capture the imagination of collectors and the general public, reinforcing the excitement that accompanies high-value coins and creating the sense that anyone could potentially stumble upon a fortune in their everyday pocket change. The 1945 wee penny also exemplifies the principles of supply and demand in numismatics. Millions of pennies were minted in 1945, but only a tiny fraction exhibit the errors, preservation, and anomalies necessary to achieve millionaire-level valuations. This scarcity, combined with high collector demand, drives extraordinary market prices. Multiple error specimens in top condition are particularly rare, further intensifying the competitive nature of auctions and private sales. Beyond monetary value, the 1945 penny offers profound educational and historical significance. Collectors can study die varieties, planchet anomalies, and strike irregularities, gaining insight into mid-20th century minting techniques and industrial processes. Each coin serves as a miniature historical document, capturing the technology, labor, and circumstances of its creation. Furthermore, owning a 1945 penny allows collectors to experience a personal connection to history. Holding a coin with extraordinary errors, pristine preservation, and verified provenance evokes a sense of pride, excitement, and wonder. The emotional value of this connection complements the financial value, making the coin highly desirable on multiple levels. Market dynamics also reinforce the 1945 penny's value. High-grade, multiple-error examples often generate intense bidding at auctions, with collectors and investors competing to secure these rare specimens. Domestic and international interest in rare American coins ensures that prices remain elevated, while media coverage of record-breaking sales amplifies public awareness and excitement. The 1945 penny's combination of historical context, minting anomalies, rarity, and preservation makes it a singular example of numismatic excellence. Its errors, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet imperfections, create unique and visually captivating specimens that are impossible to reproduce, ensuring their ongoing desirability among collectors. Historical context further enhances its appeal, linking the coin to a pivotal period in American history, while stories of accidental discoveries create narrative intrigue that captures the imagination. Professional grading and authentication validate the coin's rarity and quality, instilling confidence in buyers and supporting its extraordinary $18 million valuation. Next, 1930 1-cent USA wee penny, an extraordinary coin whose remarkable rarity, unique minting errors, and rich historical context have combined to create a staggering valuation of approximately $24 million in today's collector market. The 1930 wee penny represents a fascinating intersection of scarcity, historical significance, and accidental artistry, transforming what was originally intended to be a simple circulation coin into a legendary piece sought after by collectors, investors, and historians alike. The story of this penny begins with its production at the Denver Mint during the depths of the Great Depression, a period characterized by economic hardship, limited coin production, and a scarcity of minting resources. Unlike other years where mints produced millions of coins, the 1930 Denver Mint had a particularly low mintage for pennies, making surviving examples inherently rare. This scarcity is compounded by the presence of unique errors and anomalies that have elevated the coin's desirability and market value to astonishing levels. One of the primary reasons the 1930 penny commands such an extraordinary price is its extreme rarity. Only a very limited number of pennies were minted in Denver that year, and even fewer have survived in conditions suitable for high-end collecting. Some estimates suggest that only a handful of examples exist today in mint or near-mint condition, making it one of the most sought-after coins in the Lincoln Wheat series. This rarity alone creates a foundation for its multi-million-dollar valuation, as collectors understand that owning even a single specimen represents a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In addition to its scarcity, the 1930 penny is celebrated for its minting errors and anomalies, which further enhance its value. One prominent type of error is the double die obverse, where the date, 1930, and inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust display a noticeable duplication. This occurs when the hub strikes the die more than once in slightly different positions, producing a ghostly doubling effect that is highly prized by collectors. Double dies are rare and visually striking, providing not only aesthetic appeal but also a documented record of the minting process and its occasional imperfections. Off-center strikes are another significant contributor to the coin's value. These errors occur when the coin blank, or planchet, is misaligned in the coining press, resulting in a design that is partially off the edge, often cutting off parts of Lincoln's profile or the wheat stalks on the reverse. Each off-center coin is unique in its degree and orientation of misalignment, creating one-of-a-kind specimens that collectors find extremely desirable. Die cracks and die breaks also add to the coin's allure. The steel dies used to strike coins in 1930 were subject to immense pressure and repetitive use, which occasionally caused cracks or fissures. When a cracked die strikes a planchet, it can create raised lines or unusual textures on the coin, making each affected penny a unique artifact of minting history. These imperfections are not only visually fascinating but also provide a tangible link to the industrial processes of the time. Planchet errors further enhance the 1930 penny's rarity and value. These errors may include laminations, clipped planchets, or variations in metal composition, all of which are exceedingly rare and difficult to replicate. When combined with other anomalies such as double dies or off-center strikes, these coins become virtually one-of-a-kind, further justifying the incredible $24 million valuation. Preservation and grading are critical factors in the valuation of the 1930 penny. Because of its age and the fact that most coins of that era circulated extensively, surviving specimens in mint or near-mint condition are extraordinarily scarce. Coins with sharp details, minimal wear, and flawless surfaces are the most highly sought after, as they clearly exhibit the minting errors and anomalies that make the penny so remarkable. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC play an essential role in establishing the coin's market value. Through meticulous examination, these organizations authenticate the coin, verify the presence of errors, and assign a grade that reflects its preservation and quality. This third-party verification ensures confidence among collectors and investors, enabling high-value transactions to take place with assurance of authenticity. Historical context also contributes significantly to the 1930 penny's value. Minted during the Great Depression, this coin serves as a tangible artifact of a period marked by economic hardship and societal change. The Lincoln Wheat penny design, featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and wheat stalks on the reverse, carries deep symbolic meaning, representing both the enduring legacy of Lincoln and the agricultural foundations of the nation. Collectors are drawn not only to the coin's rarity and errors but also to the historical story it embodies, a snapshot of America during a challenging yet transformative era. Multiple-era 1930 pennies are especially prized in the collector market. Some examples may exhibit a combination of double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and planchet anomalies, creating coins that are truly one of a kind. These specimens are exceedingly rare and command extraordinary prices because no two coins with the same combination of errors exist. Collectors understand that acquiring such a coin is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the market reflects this through intense competition and high valuations. The allure of accidental discovery further amplifies the coin's mystique. Many rare pennies, including the 1930D, have been found in old rolls, drawers, or private collections, sometimes decades after their minting. These serendipitous finds create compelling narratives that capture the imagination of collectors and the public alike, reinforcing the sense of excitement and possibility associated with high-value coins. The 1930D penny also illustrates fundamental principles of supply and demand in numismatics. With an extremely low mintage and even fewer surviving examples in high-grade condition, the supply of these coins is vanishingly small. At the same time, demand among collectors, investors, and institutions remains exceptionally high. This imbalance drives extraordinary market values, particularly for coins exhibiting multiple errors and pristine preservation. Educational and research value further enhance the appeal of the 1930D penny. Collectors and numismatists study its die varieties, minting errors, and anomalies, gaining insight into the technological processes, craftsmanship, and historical conditions of the era. Each coin serves as a miniature historical record, capturing the nuances of the minting process and providing valuable lessons for enthusiasts and scholars alike. Beyond monetary and historical significance, the emotional and psychological impact of owning a 1930D penny is profound. Collectors experience pride, excitement, and a sense of connection to history when they possess such a rare and valuable coin. The thrill of acquisition, the appreciation of uniqueness, and the knowledge that only a handful of specimens exist in the world contribute to a deep and enduring fascination with this coin. Market dynamics reinforce the coin's remarkable value. Auctions for high-grade, multiple-error 1930D pennies generate intense bidding, with collectors and investors competing to secure these extremely rare specimens. Domestic and international interest in iconic American coins ensures that demand remains high, while media coverage of record-breaking sales enhances public awareness and excitement. The combination of rarity, historical significance, minting errors, multiple error varieties, pristine preservation, and documented provenance collectively justifies the extraordinary $24 million valuation of the 1930D wheat penny. Each element contributes to the coin's uniqueness, visual appeal, and desirability, making it one of the most celebrated and coveted coins in American numismatics. The 1930D penny also exemplifies the transformative power of chance in coin collecting. What began as an ordinary copper penny intended for everyday transactions became a multi-million-dollar treasure due to a combination of low mintage, minting errors, and historical circumstances. Its journey from ordinary circulation to legendary status illustrates how rarity, history, and human oversight can converge to create objects of immense cultural, financial, and emotional significance. Professional grading and authentication play a critical role in maintaining and enhancing the coin's value. By verifying authenticity, documenting errors, and assigning a grade, organizations such as PCGS and NGC provide confidence to buyers and sellers in high-value transactions. This process ensures that the coin's rarity and uniqueness are recognized and preserved, enabling collectors to engage with the market confidently and with a clear understanding of the coin's worth. The historical narrative surrounding the 1930D penny adds further intrigue. Minted during the Great Depression, it represents a time when the nation faced economic uncertainty, resource scarcity, and immense societal challenges.